physio, whether I was studying or now working, really, really hits a nail on the head.
So with your chronic fatigue, when did it start? Did you realise, was that something that happened early?
Yeah, so I got diagnosed in 2013, but I reckon and that was when I was in year 12. I had it for a good 2 to 3 years beforehand, if not longer. Yeah, so I went from the kid, and I guess when I tell this story, I went from the kid that played every sport after school, was so active, but not only was I active, I loved school. Like I got I had a real passion to be at school and to learn and to grow and to, I just really enjoyed it. So I all of a sudden then couldn't get out of bed in the morning and I couldn't go to school. I was too tired to go to school. I'd fall asleep in class. And the reason I say that is I think it's quite common for teenagers to not enjoy school, not want to get out of the bed in the morning. It's quite common. But for me, it was really, really abnormal and it was really strange.
Yeah, right.
I lost my identity. It was awful. I still remember reflecting back. There was times where I never thought I'd play hockey again at that stage. I was playing in, the junior state teams and made some junior Aussie early kind of futures groups. It was really awful and I learnt so much about myself at such an early age. I often get asked, would I go through it again and all those kind of things. And I think people are surprised at my response is that 100% I would go through it again, because as awful as it was and as challenging as it was, the things that it taught me about myself and the growth that I've had as an individual, I think has set me up for the future, and it will be something that I'll forever carry with me. I'll be that much better for having gone through the experience and having learnt from the experience.
There's a saying, I think I've said it before, hard times create hard people, and then hard people create good times. Like it's just like a circle goes around like that. So obviously that's something evolution provides us as well. And also in certain people's kind of stories as well, hard times makes them better. And then but once you reflect back on it, you're obviously like, well, I've had to kind of go through that. And cyclical as well during your life. You kind of sit down and it gets easier. Then you relax a little bit too much, and then it kind of goes back around, and you have to put yourself back through hard training and to get yourself back up again. But going back, did you kind of just keep pushing through that early couple of years, and then you finally realised I need to go and see someone? Is that
we saw lots of doctors, and that was the most challenging thing. I had that many blood tests and medical tests, and we just didn't know what was going on for a long period of time. And chronic fatigue is often the diagnosis you get once everything else has been kind of eliminated, and there's no cure. You don't just take this medication. You don't take a supplement. You don't, you can't necessarily just do one thing and it will fix it. For me, it was, lots of medical appointments, finally getting that diagnosis, which was, I guess, an answer without much of a solution. I didn't play 18s or 21s in my year 12. I barely played sport. I missed out on a lot of things in year 12 that, I wish I would have had the opportunity to do so, but I was too unwell to do so. And it lingered over to first year uni. It definitely impacted friendships and social settings and, all of those kind of things that form a big part of your, I guess, teenage years. So
chronic fatigue, there's not like a marker or something like a blood. You do a test and then there's the result you've got. So it's just a trial and error. You tick everything, or you cross everything else off, and then that's the last thing. So it takes a while for it to come.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So I had lots of eating intolerances which were diagnosed over the time, and lots of other, deficiencies. So I was zinc deficient, iron deficient, B12 deficient, vitamin D deficient, despite having very, very brown skin. And I've always had brown skin, which is just so bizarre. I spent a lot of time outside. All of these kind of things that, through the picture, they also think I've got an autoimmune disease, which currently they didn't know at the time, but may present later on. If and when that presents, I may never know.
Wow.
Just like lots of dead ends and lots of unanswered ends as well, and lots of doctors who, now working as a physio, it's really interesting when I get a patient who comes to me and I don't know what's going on. At the time, I got so frustrated at medical staff, not like, you've studied in this, how do you not know what's going on with me? Like, I need an answer. Whereas now it's, it's interesting to be on the other side of it, and I see a patient who comes in with an injury or an issue, and it's like, oh, actually, I haven't seen this, let me refer you off somewhere else. And the other person's like, well, I don't know either. So that's been not necessarily reassuring, but I guess, nice to experience the other side, that we don't always have the answers.
100%. That's so true. Everyone's so different, and there's obviously different things that happen in their lives outside of what they're doing as like a sport, for example, that you can't put a finger on and you can't say doing this is going to help you do that, because I might only see you for an hour, but what you're doing for 23 hours outside of this is going to having a bigger impact in your life. As well, that the chronic fatigue, that would have obviously been such a challenge because it happened during the formative years of your career. How did you kind of, you didn't play and all that stuff, did you have to kind of make it all back up after once you kind of got better?
Yeah, I in some ways, reflecting back, I probably also rushed coming back from it.
Okay.
I think I just kind of was like, you know what, I'll be okay. It's fine, I'm tired, it's fine, and push through. And I kind of have that approach to life. Like, I'll just get on with the job and I work pretty hard. So yeah, whether I had to make up for it, I was definitely behind the ball, 100%. And I think, time has probably told it took me a little bit longer to debut for the Hockeyroos than most of my peers. Okay. But yeah, in saying that, I think everyone, and this is something I struggle with, everyone has their own journey, and I've learnt that and I understand that now. And you can't compare yourself to others just because my best friend is playing for Australia at an age where I think I should be, or, I think I'm up to the standard, doesn't mean that I should be, or I deserve to be, or you might be told, no 100 times, but how do you not know that the 101st time is going to be a yes? And, you do get to a point in life where you might have to choose another avenue or pathway, but I was definitely behind the 8 ball, and things didn't fall into a place as early or as quick as I would have liked them to. But in saying that, again, the lessons you learn through those setbacks and the resilience that you build and you take with you for life going forward. Being an elite athlete is not easy. It looks beautiful. It looks awesome. And I don't want people to think that it is only easy, because it's honestly the best job in the world, but it is so, so hard at times. And I think I struggled initially looking at others and going, oh, well, you're an elite athlete. Like, you look like you've got it so easy, so I should also have it so easy. And I didn't. So that's, I guess, a message that I like to pass on. That, you'll follow your own pathway. You'll follow your own journey. My journey goes up, down, sideways, around about. Even this week, it's gone multiple different directions in a space of a very short period of time. But, knowing that it's your own journey and you own it is really powerful.
I think that's, as well, a lot of young kids getting into sport and they're breaking in like so young, 17, 18, and then they kind of, you get put into that one, you choose the sport, you choose, but you decide, okay, this is what I'm going to do, but you're not really able to accept, or you don't really know what's going to happen, or you don't really know what you're getting yourself in for. Like almost you're going in blind. Yeah. Like not enough people it's not popularized enough, or not enough people you don't get taught a lot of it. It's like it's just an experience thing, and you sink or you swim kind of philosophy. I guess you get into my sport, AFL, they get into it, and then they almost the first couple of years you're a deer in the headlights, and then if you kind of make your way through, or you're out within a year or two, and it's kind of a harsh reality, and then you almost, or a lot of people have said that they almost say they fall out of love of the sport. They kind of get resentful a little bit of